And a good morning to you. Happy Tuesday. Started out cloudy, but sun's trying to come out now.
Beautiful day.
I think it's going to be a nice day. Not going to be too warm. Glad to have you along. I watched some baseball last night, regionals.
Oh, yeah. Good baseball.
What's that Carolina game?
Yep.
And I posted on a little chat that we had going on.
Yep.
I thought Forbes got suspended for 2 games for arguing basically a no call is what it was. You'll like this one. You'll like this
Okay.
one. It was from what I understand, and this is from my pure lack of baseball knowledge here, what should have been a 1-out infield fly rule call.
Yep.
And the runners held. It wasn't called.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second baseman dropped it.
Right, to turn to the double play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he was hot because it should have been called, and they wound up getting a double play. And his argument was, did he drop it intentionally so they could pull the double play instead of the 1 out?
Yes.
And that's what, and that's what got him tossed. And then I saw his back last night. So did he cut it to 1 game? I don't know. I didn't see the rest of the story on that. I was just surprised to see him out there.
Yeah, well, I didn't see the annex on it, but if he gets tossed, he comes back the next day. Right, it's if it's excessive.
Well, and that's what it is. The umpire went 2 suspensions, like on the field or something. I didn't see it.
Yeah, so
and it was the base ump.
Right. It could have been. I don't know if he's a crew chief or not, but the infield fly rule is very interesting, and the reason I say that is people think it is a boring rule, and it is not, because of the things that can happen, like you talked about. Here's another for instance on that. It's a judgment call. You wait till the ball's at its highest point before you call it, okay? You make sure that it's got what they call the 95-foot circle, okay? Somewhere in that general vicinity, okay, before you call the infield fly. You make sure it's not just a looping, line, a little easy line drive that's not got a lot of height on it. The intent is for them not to be able to turn the double play. Sometimes that happens when it's not, kind of like the Carolina game, when it's just not 100% sure that it should have been. The other thing on the infield fly rule is first and second with less than 2 outs, not first, okay? Or first, second, and third. That's the rule. It's not first.
And it was 1 out.
Right. So it has to be first and second or first, second, third, less than 2 outs, not just first. The interesting part of this is you can still hit a ball 500 million feet in the air and it go no further than the pitcher's mound, for example, and it not be an infield fly. And you say 4, there's no way that can happen.
Now, say that one more time now.
You can hit it as high as you want to hit it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And it can still not be an infield fly rule. And people, and I guarantee you our listeners today are going to be like, that's not true. If it's hit in the air, it's an infield fly. That is not true. Even with first and second, okay, and less than 2 outs. And I'm going to tell you why. If the fielder from the very beginning makes no attempt to catch the ball or get under or avoids the catch altogether, okay, fly rule is not to be called because example. 3 years ago, I was watching a game with either 15 or 16-year-olds down in Charlotte. And bases were loaded, and there was I think 1 out. The fly ball of all fly balls, pop-ups, was hit to the first baseman. As soon as the ball is hit, the first baseman starts screaming, "I can't see it, I can't see it," and takes off running. Well, there's no infield fly when there's no attempt on the ball. Okay? Well, nobody knows that. And that's okay because it happens.
Didn't know it.
Well, no, what I'm saying is it happens once every 10,000 years. It's kind of like the double, quadruple lunar eclipse with all the other planets that somehow jumped in front of the moon, which I'm being funny. It's just one of those things that never happens. But that is the rule. And so baseball is kind of like football, Lanny. Sometimes tuck rule and stuff like that nobody ever hears about.
Oh, is it too complicated?
Well,
is there too much left up that can't be clear cut?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so in that regard. I think they actually got the rule right on, or when they're making the rules. But the problem is most umpires don't know that as well. But the base umpire, fortunately, down in Charlotte did. And everybody, both sides were screaming, "You idiot, that's an infield fly." There was 99.999% idiots in the stands when it came to that.
Now here I was wrong. Carolina played 2 games Sunday, so he did serve that suspension. I guess that's why I didn't know they played more than one game on Sunday.
Okay, so he got ejected first game
on Saturday. He got ejected on Saturday. Was suspended for Sunday's 2 games.
Why did they go 2-game suspension?
For excessive.
Okay, so they
arguing.
deemed it. So they deemed
arguing.
it. So on the field, he can't give him 2.
Okay.
They have to make that determination. Now, he can do anything he wants to do.
Okay.
But they make that determination afterwards. But I dare say that they need to be a little bit more gracious in, we're talking about, these people, this is their livelihoods. It's kind of like the East Carolina game yesterday, okay? Cliff Godwin was 100% right. The home plate umpire who thinks he's Angel Hernandez, East Carolina was up like 10-2. Boy hits a 3-run homer, puts him up 13-2. He's watching a little bit. The umpire goes out and starts pushing him, run, run, run. Now, the day before, when the Coastal Carolina kid hit the mammoth shot to give them a big go-ahead lead, he just stands there and looks at the ball with the kid. And then the kid from Coastal flips his bat. The boy from East Carolina didn't. He just watched. He laid his bat down, watched it go out, and then, my thing is, you got guys and ladies that put in hundreds, sometimes, of hours a week. People say, "Oh, you can't do that." Try coaching one time at a high level and see if you don't put the 100+ in a week, because it's not 5 days.
That's how you get to where they got to.
All right, that's how you become great at what you do. The problem I have is when guys like that take it personal, okay, instead of staying professional. I don't care what Scott did. I know the guy. All right, he's a good guy. He's a real good guy. My neighbor at East Burke was roommates with him or neighbors with him for 3 years before they moved back here. He's a good dude, okay? Regardless if he loses his cool or not, he had every right to, because that is his livelihood. He's got to defend his program.
That's right.
They say, "Oh, it's excessive." What's excessive is the amount of bull crap that I have to watch with people not being held accountable that don't have near the time or energy invested into the game as the people that are out there performing it. Umpires are a very important part, but they have – it's like Congress. They have total control, all right, or like politicians or even like county government, okay? Yeah. They think they've got total control with no consequences, and that's not right.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody – don't care if you agree or disagree.
One of the things,
it's not right.
One of the things that I've always wondered about, and they've never made them do it, is there's always been talk, now not at this level, but you're talking more of on the professional level, of having officials have to hold a press conference like players and coaches so they could be questioned about what went on during the game.
Yeah.
But they don't do that. Now, this particular game, it everything worked out like it should. I guess, part of my thing was seeing him back last night. I didn't realize they played 2 on Sunday because I missed that. I missed that part. So he did serve his 2-game suspension. He came back. There was a picture of him shaking hands with the umpire that he had to run in, and it's never been personal with me. It's about the situation.
It has for me when they make it personal about me. Yeah. We had an umpire one time whose son pitches in the majors, who's a very good friend of mine, tossed me out of the game and said, "Enjoy your suspension." That was not the right thing to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because then you knew it was more than just about the call.
But you know what? He's still one of my good friends. I know. But I got everything I could get. Now, let me tell you this about officials. I have very good relationships with them personally, and I'm going to tell you why. Because the game cannot function appropriately without their guidance and direction. And I have very – let me give you an example, all right? We have a guy locally, Randy Fry, who sometimes –
Randy made a comment on
is he on the show? Okay, yeah. I can't see the comment. All right, he's one of my friends, okay? But as far as – but professionally speaking, when he's an umpire, and even if I'm coaching the little kids or the older kids, he communicates with me the whole game.
Well, that's what it should be.
Right, you know what I'm saying? And like when what's funny is
some of them feel like they resent it because they feel like, well, you think I owe you an explanation? No, you don't owe me an explanation. You just need to communicate with me.
Right.
So we're all on the same page.
And I'm going to tell you who else did that with me really, really good was Mr. Klein.
Yeah.
whether I agreed or which that's going to happen. That doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
He still would always talk to me between innings, or he would let me cool off and then get me the next inning. Right? Mm-hmm. He knew how to manage because of his experience, and I think Randy does a really good job of that. And we have several youth league officials that do call some high school games, but in my opinion, they are as good and as wholesome and trying to make the game as clean as they can for the kids and even the coaches that put so much time into it.
And that's what it should be.
Yeah, I can't read.
Yeah, Richie said he was suspended for both games on Sunday, but if and I guess that's because they went into the losers bracket. Richie said the infielder does not have to make an extraordinary effort to make the catch, and Randy said true, it has to be an attempt.
Right.
Brian, good morning. Brandon Eichert, good morning. Like the double squeeze bunt, taking advantage of a rule. Stephen, good morning. Richie said Forbes was ejected from the dugout, the home plate umpire threw him out. But he was arguing with the first base umpire.
Well, they'd had enough. I mean, it's like Cliff Godwin getting tossed, against Coastal. Yes, not yesterday, but the day before. It was the Coastal had one loss, East Carolina had none. Okay, it was on Sunday. If East Carolina wins, the regional's over. Well, they were down 7-0. It was late in the game. And Cliff didn't say anything out of the he was doing it, and the home plate umpire knew. Cliff went down there to argue with him to get tossed, to try to fire up the kids, just try to get something going. Because Coastal's pitcher was
I've taken text
awesome.
Before.
I've
taken
awesome.
tees.
Yeah, but that's okay. And he didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
He just tried to fire the fans up and take care of his team.
And Milton, you're right, but it's never going to happen when he said umpires just need to be consistent, and that's what I was saying. Is the rule too complicated that they can't be consistent?
I don't think so. I don't think so. And the thing about it is, it's always everything's judgment anyway. And I think, like Milton's talking about, the coaches that study the game, but also forge the relationships, with the umpires, understand who they have the ability to basically write off anybody they don't think that is. Doing it for the right reasons.
Understand, but in high school that doesn't work because there's not enough officials. Because we used to do it all the time.
Right.
And officials that knew what they were doing, I had no problem. But the ones that you knew from the calls,
right,
they were not about making the right call, I had no respect.
And Lanny, the cool thing is like when I was coaching Legion, David Brown was our area, and Seth Keener does it now. They were our area booking agents for officials, and they held clinics, and they were very good. Like David had me do evaluations basically every night on the crew that was there. And I'll give you an example. We had a guy that had been calling a couple of years and just getting into it, and he sent him to our place for, I think we were playing like Hendersonville or something, which is a great game for at that time for somebody to come in and and he didn't have a very good night. And I told David said, "Man, I'm sorry." He said, "I know." I said, No, send him back tonight. Against I think it was like Burke or somebody. I said, let him get back in there again. Dave was like, "You want him back?" I was like, "Yes." The whole point.
As long as you didn't feel like there was intent there, you didn't have a problem.
No.
Yeah.
He has to learn.
Right, that's right.
And he came back the next night, and he knew I wasn't happy with the night before, but he knew I wasn't mad at him. I wanted it to be better, and that was the whole point, trying to make the game better, a better experience for the kids. And the fans. The coaches will always adapt because they take so much crap anyway from all sides. That part doesn't matter. It's the experience for the kids and the fans, and especially in high school sports and Legion sports. And I'm always looking at things as a former, head baseball coach, head football coach, athletic director. Even had to fill in as an administrator for a couple of weeks when our assistant principal got sick. We came to money. So I ran the buses, the discipline, everything for the whole school. But the point is, as someone that's worn many hats and, like heading up the chess club, like I did, or, whatever, right? Multiple kids. The whole point is to provide the best quality experience and the most opportunities for young people to help in their growth and development, not take those opportunities away. And we have a real problem in today's society with people that are in charge of things, that are like, well, I make the rule or I enforce the rules in this way. At some point, common sense has to take precedent over everything else that you got in that stupid rule book or policy book or whatever, okay? because everything in there is supposed to be about the benefit and opportunity for the kid to grow and develop, and not, for you to play God with.
The rule book,
that's the problem I have.
You've got the rule book as a guideline, but it's common sense that becomes the application side of it. Because you have to be able to apply common sense to properly apply the rules.
Do you know when you can tell someone doesn't want to face the truth about something? What are the words that they tell you if they don't want to face the truth? I'm offended.
Oh, I don't get that one.
Okay, now it doesn't mean that what's said is right, but there's truth to it. All right, I'm offended. That hurts my feelings. First of all, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody except your mommy. Okay, she cares. All right, the world does not care. The world is arbitrary. It doesn't care about you or your feelings.
No, you're right. Richie, this was a topic that was on Dan Patrick yesterday. There was a Tennessee kid, as he was rounding the bases on a home run, flipped off the outfield. Yeah. Richie said also the infield fly rule, it wasn't why Forbes got ejected. I didn't think he was kicked out after arguing the interference call while UNC player was sliding in a second.
Okay,
I think it was a combination.
Yeah, he wouldn't let it go, and they'd had enough. So
it wasn't the singular calls, but it was part of it. Yeah. Brian said Randy's good ref, ump, and person. Milton said, Lanny, when I was in school, strike zone was a moving target. That's the only thing I don't like about it. Randy said the only place I got kicked out of was West Lincoln football. It was not for throwing a flag. It was for throwing popcorn, LOL.
Oh, my God. Do you know about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
It's home, so I can't.
Hey, but you know what?
Sometimes.
It's all good, man. It was great.
We're going to take a time out. Be back.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com.
Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, and then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stiefel Nicholas can assist you. Call Ford Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stiefel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
And welcome back. Glad to have you here on a Tuesday morning. I see the flag flying over across the way at the post office, which means there's a good breeze going. Oh, yeah. It's kind of nice out there. Not going to be a brutal weather week, but it is summertime. So don't forget about that. It is summertime. And if you're missing some hot weather, just hold my beer. It's coming. It's not going to be a problem.
Speaking of not summer or summer weather, we were in Greensboro this weekend. Quinn's team was, they played in Greensboro area, Elon and places like that. Saturday night, the lady that was there, for, one of the moms, put a jacket on. It got cool about 7:30 in Greensboro in the summer. I'm thinking,
listen, Saturday morning, it was like 59, 60 degrees.
Crazy.
It was nice.
And there was no humidity.
Yeah, no.
It was the most pleasant weekend of summer baseball.
It was nice.
And so all I could think about was we're going to be in East Cobb, Georgia. And from July 7th to the 14th.
What's I'm going to tell you?
Boys, let me tell you something. I'm wearing my big bucket hat, and it's a big one.
You get south of Columbia, it gets bad.
Hey, I'll be sitting out there, and all of a sudden there's going to be a big wet spot, like a big puddle. And it's kind of like Frosty Snowman. I'll be back next year.
Be melting.
Oh, it's going to be awful. I may be back to my fighting weight by the time we get back.
Be melting.
God,
but you said consistency is key. If you're going to be great both ways. If you're going to be bad both ways. And I've said that. I don't care if you're good or bad. Just be the same through the whole game.
Yeah, and to Richie's point, I think wasn't Milton an official for a pretty good while? Is that not right? Who was the official for a while?
Link.
I'm sorry, Link was.
Yeah.
But to I know there's a human element in all of us, and I have no problem with that. But when it seems like it goes away from being professional to personal and about this and about that instead of about the integrity of the game, that's what absolutely flies all over me.
I've told you, and most people
that.
say it, that the best official is the official you don't know's there.
Yeah.
That's their job. That's not saying they don't do anything. It's just that it doesn't become a controlling factor in the game.
And you can't say the same thing about coaches, because coaches are like CEOs. All great CEOs are great entertainers. And now people may agree or disagree.
And you have to make changes.
Dean Smith, was he was very stoic, but he could get excited as well. But he was a great entertainer. Not because maybe he would raise his voice a whole lot in press conferences but the way that he did things, right? Mike Krzyzewski's a great entertainer.
The subtle way.
Right, the way Krzyzewski, talked in his interviews at the end of the year and about, it's not over and we're going to do that. He's a great entertainer. Most great head football coaches, head baseball, basketball, softball, whatever, volleyball, whatever sport you got, are great entertainers. Linda Richards was as good of a coach that's ever been in Catawba County that had, this been here, okay? She was a great entertainer. All right, because she was tough, she was articulate, and she knew exactly what she wanted to do and what she wanted her players to do. Watching her may have benefited me more than the other
You
12
can learn.
years.
You can learn how coaches do
things. Oh, my
things.
gosh.
Sure.
Her relationship with the kids to be able to just pound them, but yet they knew. I mean, when she passed away, Angela, Audra, all of them that played for her were just devastated. They still are.
Yeah.
Because she was such an important part on who they became, why they became who they were. And Linda was that extension from the home, just like Dickie Foster, Jerry Copas, Randy Loman, Tom Brown, Butch Parker. You can go on and on and on in the list of guys that have been head coaches that have had that implementation as being a part of, the extension of the home. Robbie Abernathy is a great example of that. It's so important. And you just got to know that trying to get it right is the most important thing without trying to make it about just one person. Now, I don't care if you're a player, coach, or an official. If you try to make it about you, you're going down the tube real quick. It starts slow, but once it spirals, you ain't coming back, and that's just the way it is.
I'm going to tell you a quick story, and then I'll get back to our feed here. I coached JV basketball for 1.5 years. The only reason the second year was I got offered a full-time job at Bunker Hill and left.
Right.
I couldn't pass that up.
You didn't have a choice.
For second semester, I'd come out of school and I was ready to go to work.
Yeah.
And so, but the first year, we weren't very good in basketball.
Sure.
It was West Lincoln.
Okay.
In the coach's office, everybody had a coat hanger thing where you hang your hat or whatever, in the coach's office. And everybody had their name under it. Okay? And I said, well, I'm going to get my name under there. Do you know what Harold made me do? We'll give you a letter for every win. So I had to win 4 games to get my name. And I think we won 5. That's awesome. My kids were so excited when I got my name up there because we had won enough games.
It became a rallying cry.
Yes.
And did you put the exclamation point after
they were
the
trying
D?
They were trying to get my name.
I love it. That's fantastic.
But I tell that story because that's the kind of relationship you want with your players. It doesn't have to be so serious, but it's about learning. It's about relationship. It's about what you mean to each other.
Yeah.
And we tend to forget that. I'm coming to your comment in just a minute, Juju. Brian said, some of the problems I've found with officials is they have never played the game, so they don't remember the rules. I remember I was coaching softball a long time ago, and Charlie Curtis threw me out of a game, and from that day on, I said I would never happen again because they are a part of the game. You just have to be careful what you do. Richie wants to know if you're going to G Vegas to see the Pirates.
I'm not. Quiz got a tournament. We're going to the beach next week. But I can tell you that this thing was on overload yesterday afternoon, okay? Holy cow. I had like 30 roommates in college, all right? All guys, just to be very clear, all right? All guys, okay? And, man, I think half of them were at the games.
Yeah.
One of them was on TV last night, but I'm not going to tell you which one because he was
I saw Lane Hoover's
the
mom and dad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They were on TV. Saw them on TV.
I enjoy so much. I like watching them play, but I really enjoy watching Lane play. Mm-hmm. And I enjoyed watching him play when he was in high school, but I really enjoyed – like I have enjoyed watching him play at East Carolina. He that kid, he's got it right, man.
2 connections. You got local, and you got, of course, your team.
Yeah.
Richie said that Carolina will be hosting Arkansas in the Supers.
That's going to be a great regional too.
Yeah. And I normally don't watch baseball, but I do enjoy. I enjoy playoff and World Series baseball.
I dare say that it's more exciting than some other college sports at some point. You know what I'm saying? Like
doesn't surpass softball, but that's a different story.
Do what now?
Don't surpass college softball.
I will tell you now. Of course, opinions vary, but I'm with you on that because of.
Pace of play,
right? But it's if you really look at it, when you start getting a regional, super regional, like baseball, softball, they start they go their way. So you have the ability to enjoy
but
both without having to
still
compare.
very, very entertaining, even if you're a casual fan like I am when it comes to baseball. Todd said his dad always said if you had a house in Georgia and a house in hell, you need to sell the one in Georgia because it was cooler. And Todd also said they should pay parents to watch JV girls basketball.
And moving on.
That's Todd Herms, everybody. It's not the opinion. Views and opinions expressed here. Steven said some great games this past weekend, and there was. There really was.
So fun. It was so fun to watch.
Yeah. It was. Now, back to Juju's question.
Yes.
He wants this discussed.
Okay.
He said the college baseball regionals are more exciting than March Madness.
That is correct.
And
that is correct.
I agree 100%. To me, March Madness has gotten somewhat boring because you got the same suspects and you kind of know how it's going to flow. And this
you don't
when you get into the baseball and the softball side of regionals and super regionals. Anything can happen.
Coastal Carolina.
I was surprised that Oklahoma got beat the other night in
right,
softball.
Right.
But then they came back and they won by 15.
Yeah. I mean, You're right. And it's crazy, but baseball and softball, because of individual play of the sport and timing, and whether people believe in momentum or not. When you start becoming more confident as you're doing something, you get better and better and better. If the other team can't break it, then you keep compounding. We saw the pitcher at Coastal pitch against East Carolina this weekend, in the first game they played time they played East Carolina on Sunday. There's something to be said for that. And I think to Juju's point, when I think they start getting about even, if there is any, is the Elite Eight. I think that's, but until then, Juju's right. It's more dynamic. It's more exciting. It's less predictable. Therefore, you're more engaged.
Oh, I agree 100%.
And I didn't understand this when I was younger because I was just immature and running around coaching and just, crazy man and everything. But I had people come up to me years later and say, we used to love coming to watch you guys play and just seeing what you were going to do next. Well, that was not my intent. I was just really – crazy, immature, go off the wall about anything at any time. It didn't have enough life experience to understand. But the point was the unpredictability of what was going to happen next was, whether it was the players, hitting a home run or a double, and you know what I'm saying, or strike somebody. It's the unpredictable nature. Basketball is too predictable.
Yeah, with the major players, especially now.
It is because there's total protections put in place. And this is an arguable point, but just an observation I made. There's too many protections put in place for the major college players, all right, because they're great players and they have careers. For some reason, I feel like officiating has gotten to the point where they're going to protect those kids to get them to the next level instead of protecting the integrity of the college sport, which nobody's protecting the integrity of college athletics because, to your point, there's some sports in college athletics that are no longer just about college. They're almost pro-based.
Yeah.
And Deion Sanders is right. He put a thing out on one of the, Facebook on one of the reels or whatever that he made. But he's right. Anytime you give an 18 or 19-year-old more money than the coaching staff is making, there's going to be a problem, okay? The hierarchy system has got to be in place. Okay, it's like nobody can make more money in the building than the principal, right? When I became the head football coach at Madison County, they had to pay the principal $100 more a year because of the contract I had, right? You see what I'm saying? That way, I didn't run the building.
That's why. That's why. And I would not have done that. That's why professional sports have gotten that way now, and that's why it's hard for some coaches to coach because the players don't have that respect for you because they want to act like they've got more power because they make more money.
Well, Dennis Robbins is a great example of that. Phil Jackson was light years ahead of his time coaching wise, based on the way that he did things. And what I mean by that is it didn't make him – it didn't make everybody else wrong, but he took the philosophy, you know what, I'm going to be more philosophical with these guys, have more discussions with them. I'm going to deepen the key to everything. I'm going to deepen my relationship with these players. So when Dennis Rodman needs to go off for 3 nights, in between games, and I don't see him at practice, I'm going to give a little bit of grace here and let him go do his thing to get refocused. That's the way he refocuses. And then, we're going even though it drew attention away, it drew too much attention from them during the playoff run or championship series. But, it's all about how you handle, those individual people.
But there was a double standard there too, because this was just discussed this week with some of the talking heads. The notoriety that Rodman created with his antics during playoffs and stuff, okay? But nobody discussed Michael staying out in a casino till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning gambling.
Yeah.
Because that was his way of blowing off steam
Completely
and getting refocused.
Completely
but
agree.
he didn't get the bashing that Rodman did because of who he was.
Yeah, Jordan was slinging cards and chips around, and Rodman was slinging beers and drugs and dare say, I don't mean this derogatory, but probably
women,
ladies.
Mm-hmm. No.
And and then he's on WWE wrestling, which was awesome, by the way. Rodzilla,
I always
love that
liked
dude.
Rodman.
God, I do
sorry.
too. Did you see have you seen the thing on his daughter?
Mm-mm.
She's an 18-year-old. She's the first 18-year-old ever to be drafted in soccer. And I got to tell you, look her up. Dennis wasn't around. Her and her brother and her mom divorced Rodman in 2012. They lived in a car for a little while. Yeah, but her interview, it was on ESPN this weekend. It was on real early Sunday morning. We were watching it before we checked out of the hotel, and it was it'll bring you to tears.
Mm-hmm.
But she is like beyond her years of maturity.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful young lady, both inside and out. And I got to tell you, man, her soccer skills are pretty impressive. I mean,
sure
she's really that good. But everybody just
I don't
check
think Rodman got the credit he deserved for the athlete that he was because of his antics.
Yeah.
But he was a specimen. I mean, he was amazing what he could do.
There's nobody in the NBA today that he couldn't lock down.
That's correct. Yeah,
and now that's arguable.
The closest comparison is Draymond Green for the Warriors, but he's not the enforcer that Rodman was. Rodman was on such a totally different level.
Draymond is my kind of guy too. He plays hard and he'll foul and he'll make you earn it. But having had the opportunity to watch both,
mm-hmm.
Rodzilla would be first.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
and then I dare say that I'd probably take one of the other Pistons to be second.
Oh,
third,
Lampier,
fourth, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God,
that was a totally different
Lampier's
animal.
skill set was nowhere near what
Mm-hmm.
you see in the NBA today, but his defensive prowess
was unbelievable.
He's insane. It was awesome.
Richie said March Madness, you kind of predict it after the first round. Regionals and super regionals have a whole other level of what could happen.
Great point.
And I've wondered sometimes, and I got to take a break, but I've wondered sometimes, would March Madness be better if it were a double elimination? Hold that thought. Back in a moment.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call 4Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
And welcome back. Winding up here on a Tuesday morning. Glad to have you. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my question. Let's see here. Bob said, I like that in baseball there's fewer one and dones. Yep.
Yeah.
Hilton said Bill Lambier was a hockey player goon playing basketball. Rich said, again, think today's players could stand up to the guys from the 80s and 90s in the NBA? I don't think so. I really don't. And at the same time, I think there's players from that era that would make the guys that are superstars today look silly if they played under the same rules where you couldn't touch and all the things that go on.
Yeah.
Richie said, nah, don't play double elimination. Just play on home courts like the NIT does.
Ooh, is he talking about the March Madness?
Okay,
That's
and here's the
idea.
thing. I told 4 while we was at break, I have been in favor, instead of continuing to expand March Madness in its current format, I would rather have a play-in tournament with a larger number, Richie, on home courts like the NIT does, because then the schools, they make more money. Let's say you take the top –
better, right?
You take the top 32. You take the top 32 teams.
Right.
And instead of the 68, you take the top 32, and then you have a play-in tournament to get into that next 32.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
That's how you do it. And I haven't worked out the details because nobody asked me to come up with this format so they could implement it. So if they do, I'll work out the details. But I think that get away from conference championship tournaments. I think the college season needs to be shortened. Because nobody takes any interest in it till after Christmas, just like the NBA. Nobody takes interest in the NBA. Now there are some headlines out there that there's a possibility that the NBA. I heard Stern. Gosh, I'm going way back.
Yeah.
Adam Silver did an interview talking about. Maybe cutting the season back a little bit, and it would be a combination between the league, the Players Association, everybody involved.
Yes.
But part of it was get away from back-to-back games and make the season shorter so that you have your star players out there every game, and you let the length of the season take care of the load management. You don't have players taking nights off and those kind of things, because that's the part that hurts the fan experience. And for some reason, there are certain players, and I'm not calling any names, I'm just being generic here. I think there's certain players that forget it is the fans that make them the money, whether it's through TV eyeballs, whether it's ticket sales, whatever it is. It's that fan desire to be part of it that pays the salaries. Talk about the TV contracts, but the TV contracts don't have the eyeballs, don't get the advertising. They can't pay the money. So
that's right.
I'm just saying you just need to think about that a little bit. And I wasn't in favor of adding an extra game to the NFL. I was in favor of an extra open date so that the season was longer, but we didn't play any more games.
Well, your point to that was such a great point and idea, and made way too much sense.
That's
with the rigors of football.
Mm-hmm.
I think after 3 or 4, 5 or 5 games, got to have open date.
Mm-hmm.
After another 5 games, 6 games, got to have another open date. Your body has to be able to heal. It's amazing to me that people and fans like you and I, we see this, but yet individual people are still quick to criticize the use of performance-enhancing, I'm not going to say drugs, performance-enhancing, supplements, okay, so the players can stay on the field. If you don't, if you want them to be as natural as possible on things, then provide an environment for the body to recover, because it's a natural process for the body to recover. Right, so let's figure it out and stop being so. I can't believe they did that. Oh, I can't.
I'm not about more.
You get that kind of money, you believe it.
I'm not about more games as much as I'm about more a longer season.
Sure.
With less games, because I still get to see and enjoy it. I don't have to have 150 games from my team.
No, that's right.
I just want to watch the sport, whatever the sport is. And the other side of it is, and I know we differ on the baseball side too, but you've got so many games, I hate to say meaningless, but you've got players, you've got fans, you've got TV ratings that don't take them serious because they know it really doesn't have an impact on it. Most baseball fans, unless you're just a diehard, want to watch the pill go down the pipe every day, they don't really get interested in it until after the All-Star break, because then it starts sorting itself out on who's, and there are teams that eliminate the All-Star break.
No, I agree. What the thing is baseball kind of has, and a lot of sports, but they have 2 sets of fans.
Mm-hmm.
They have the ones, like you said, the diehards, that no matter what, how many elderly women have you known in your life that would not miss a Braves game?
Oh.
And it could be May, June, or July.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. How many guys that you're friends with, they hang on every pitch. They are what we call true fans, right? And you have those in every sport. But then you have the marketeers, the ones that the TV markets go after, which are the ones that want to go and enjoy the luxury box, that want to huddle up in the bars, to watch their favorite team with their friends when it becomes crunch time. So they're kind of serving two different masters all in one package. Well, I mean, you have to be broad in what you do anyway. And to your point, the true baseball fan or sports fan, whatever, wants to watch every single pitch of every single inning of every single game, okay? At one point, I was like that, okay? And then I had kids. No, I'm just kidding. But, and then you have the other ones that, I'm going to kind of do what I do in the summer, and then when All-Star break, I'm going to watch the All-Star game, watch everybody hitting home runs, and then I'm going to start getting into it.
College football,
okay.
I start at noon, okay? I start at noon on Saturdays until I go to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
For college football.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it doesn't matter
yeah.
who's
Oh,
playing. I just find the best matchup, and if it gets boring and I thought it was going to be a good game, I flip it. I've turned off my teams before.
Right, to watch
a Clemson
kids,
game
right?
or an Appalachian game because it just wasn't it wasn't holding my attention, and I just want to see a good game.
And, I think that's the real benefit of something like the regional sports action or ESPN Plus, right, or Fox Sports. Where you can buy the app or what, I'm saying, purchase that part. But you can get a good Division II, III, or NAIA game.
And I have always said I will pay for that.
Yeah, right.
I don't have to have commercial TV for that.
I'm okay with that too.
Absolutely.
Because to me, it's an investment into the things that I like kind of what you're talking about, that I like to do and see and watch. But I have no problem like you at any time watching. It doesn't have to be a major college game for me to be interested in. I like watching the kids that basically nobody believed could play.
I used to watch Tuesday night games that were usually one of the lower
tier,
in football because it had gotten to the point that you could just about get a football game every night during the fall between pro and college. I mean, there was something to watch.
Too. You're right.
Andrew, did Bull just hijack your page? Because Andrew said, speaking of watching the sport, you need to check out cheese rolling.
Huh?
You hadn't heard about cheese rolling? And then Richie says,
that's awesome.
The NC State, there's an NC State grad that is the world champion, the women's world champion in cheese rolling. That's a real thing. Yeah. Steven said, I start with Corso's headgear pick. Yeah, I tune in about 10 till 12. Now, my wife will turn it on early, and I'm not interested in all that.
I like it early,
It starts getting closer to the game, I'll turn it on.
The greatest thing, though, watching college football when they first started doing – I say first started, it's been years, but even the first 10 or 12 years was just to build up an excitement and the way they would get the background fan, wherever they were, start getting them jacked up. And, man, I'm sitting there, and, I mean, this is after a Friday night of intense football. It's 11:55 on a Saturday morning, and, man, I'm ready to go. And then, they start talking about who's going to win and what Corso's going to do and all this. And holy cow, man. Oh, my God. Sometimes I'm just like, it's great.
Andrew said, I heard somebody saying NC State finally got another championship. Randy said, great turnout at the lab last Friday night at the conditioning field. Parents, bring your kids out, boys, girls, for football techniques, development, and flag football. That's every Friday, June and July at the new turf field right behind the lab.
So what you do is you just come out, and it's boy or girl. I mean, it's boy or girl, right? And I'll tell you this, Lenny, what's fun is the kids get to come out there, and they get to run around and be kids. There's not predetermined teams. They just kind of line them up and, go ahead and start picking them out, and, they let them play. It's a lot of fun.
The best way to do teams when you're that age and you don't really know what's going on, you get one solid line, and you determine how many teams you're going to have. Right. And then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do you remember teams like that?
Yeah.
All the ones win, all the twos win, all the threes win, that kind of thing. So, Andrew said, "Are you going to have an adult division?" Would you stop it? Jeff Meadows said, I'm assuming that's Hickory High School HHS.
Yes, so Drone
versus Drone
yeah.
on 7-on-7 at Drone tonight.
So they have a summer schedule that Drone has put out. I'm friends with their coach out there, Chris Powell. He's a really good fellow. Of course, the guy at Hickory, Joe Glasses, just he's a wonderful, doing a great job too. But what Chris Powell's done is he's made a summer schedule out. But they also have lineman skill set on some of these as well. And I think you and I talked about that, a few weeks ago that, the 7-on-7s are really good. But if you want to be a champion, the big boys up front.
You don't play 7-on-7.
The 5 or 6 kids up front, you can win games playing on 7-on-7, but you win championships with those guys.
You don't play 7-on-7. You play with 11.
Regardless of what people want to say.
You play with
people
11.
People talk about Shelby. I could tell you about the great linemen they have at Shelby.
Yep.
Everybody wants to talk about how fast the backs are, how fast the receiver, the quarterback this, or that linebacker this. Or what? Let me tell you something. Their linemen are very, very good.
Very athletic.
They don't jump off sides. They don't give things away with hand pressure like you and I've talked about. They are very, very good up front.
Steven said you got to go to a YouTube and check out Corso picking Houston about 5 years ago.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
The F-bomb and had to come back on air and apologize 10 minutes later. Now, I will tell you this. I have been told by people who have been to speaking engagements with Corso, he's got a very diverse vocabulary, even when he's speaking to crowds. And then back to cheese rolling. Richie said it's fun to watch. They take a cheese roll and roll it downhill, and they chase it. The amount of flips and rolling is amazing. I just as soon watch paint dry, I'm sure.
I got to check it out.
I'm not getting into cheese rolling. Sorry. I'm not getting into cheese rolling.
I love it.
All right, guys, have a great day. Be back tomorrow. I think Juju will be back in studio with me again tomorrow. He's out of school. I think he took a little beach trip or something.
Oh, good.
Over the weekend.
For him. Good for him.
Glad to have you along with us here this morning. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day.